Hey everyone, this is Mortem bringing you an overview of Fallout 4's crafting system and the workshop and settlement system. It has some things I really like, a few things that I don't, but we'll be going over all of it right here, right now. So first things first, this is an overview. It's not meant to be super in-depth about every detail of everything you can do. I'm sure you can find those videos, but with this, I just wanted to give an overview of how the system works, because the game itself doesn't really introduce you to it very well. It just shows you one of the workshops you can find, and that's pretty much it. You can engage with it, or you can completely ignore it, whatever floats your boat. And that's a good way to present an open world game where everything is optional and they want you to explore and kind of do your own thing, and you're only really limited by the things you decide to do. And that's fine. But when it comes to information on things, you're largely just left to figuring it out yourself. So, with no further ado, let's get started here. Throughout your adventure through the Wasteland, you're going to find workshops. You can find definitely more than one. The ones you have discovered will show up in your Pip-Boy. But once you find them and you enter the area, you will find a few basic things and then a small area for which you can build. You can go into the build menu by holding down V. From this view, it's important to note that you can scrap basically everything you pick up, be it weapons, be it armor, things just lying around the build zone. You can scrap basically everything, which is important because that's how you're going to get your materials to start off with. They don't really provide you with a lot. And one of the main drawbacks to this that I really don't like is that you will be picking up junk constantly throughout the game. And while the Pip-Boy has an option to show you what that junk gets scrapped into in the build zone and like what it can be used for material-wise, those junk items are still just junk items. They don't actually, by just their name, tell you what they are scrapped into. And I think that's really confusing for a lot of people, and I don't think they're going to be able to understand it fully right away. It takes a little bit of digging and looking into, and I just don't think that's a very positive thing. With that said, once you bring up the build menu, in a build zone, you cannot build outside the zone. But once you've pulled up the build menu in the build zone, you will be presented with an overlay that you will be able to see in this video, of course, of all the available options, be they buildings, furniture, decor, power, which is a big thing. You can make more crafting stations, you can make generators to supply power to the things you build that require power. Honestly, the system is incredibly robust. It's actually pretty interesting to see. It's almost like a really good-looking Minecraft. It's that simple. It's that diverse. However, of course, because it's 3D and everything else, it is not nearly as blocky, shall we say. But it's very in-depth, and it's pretty impressive to see it in its entirety. But if there's a useful thing you can find in the world, there's a good chance you can craft it as well through the build system. A lot of these workshops will come with a lot of things just sitting around, but you can choose to scrap those and completely build your own. It's entirely up to you. And I'd say that's where the system really shines. So once you've put aside the very confusing start to it, where you're just seeing all this junk and you're like, how do I even use any of this? And then you see it translated into those materials and you start to get a better grasp of how it works and everything, then it's not as bad and you can jump in there. But things like that definitely matter when people are met with that kind of weird system that doesn't really have an explanation. It kind of puts them off. And if Fallout 4 wasn't such a huge title with AAA coverage, it might be a bigger deal, but in this instance, I don't think it's really going to matter that much as far as the players are concerned. Between my commentary and the accompanying video, I'm hoping that it'll give you a general overview of how the crafting system works for any of those people who were either still deciding whether or not to buy Fallout 4, or were just generally confused about how it worked. So I hope you enjoyed the content. I will be making more Fallout 4 videos, as this is part of a series of planned videos that I'm making. If you enjoyed the content, please subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.